The day starts in Twisp and ends with about a third of the climbing that I will do in the Cascades to get to Lone Fir Campground. That is actually what I got across. That's Washington Peak with Rainy Peak. Ready to go. Certainly the hills are getting steeper as we go up the valley. Soon, and then the real fun starts. Coming into Mazama, which is literally the last outpost of civilization for about 100 miles through the North Cascades. Probably the last flush toilets, etc. Electricity, until I hit Marble Mount on the other side. Here we go. Another one of those sites that's just kind of impossible to capture, truly. I can tell you these are some big mountains. This is where I'll be tonight. There's giant, can't see from there, but there's giant snow-covered mountains all around. What's amazing to me is how tall these mountains are, but how close they are. So they just go straight up, essentially.
Hey Sally, I'm Becky, and I used to work in an art gallery in Seattle, Washington, and we represented all indigenous artists, many of whom are from tribes you've collected, specifically Mungo Martins tribe, the Kwakwakiwak. And I was just explaining to Aaron that Mungo's group, family, community, kept the culture alive because they told the authorities that they were not practicing potlatching. Mm-hmm. They were participating in Christmas festivities. And so the potlatch is to give away your wealth. Families will spend years preparing for their family potlatch. Potlatching was really important to Mungo's community. That's how a person earns status and honor in the community. It's not what you took in, it's what you gave away. And the more you gave, the greater your generosity, the more respect you garnered in the community. And so they would spend years weaving blankets, making masks, all to be gifted away at the potlatch. But they knew that they were dealing with the government and the Christian community, and they figured out that if they switched it from potlatching to gifting at Christmas time, they could keep their culture alive. And so that is how it was done. And what's really important and fascinating is that all the stories that are told, like during the Hamatsa cycle, there's a number of different amazing dance cycles among the Kwakwakiwak. And each of those, like I was telling you about the Hamatsa, is a way to let the mores and the ethos of the community, how to spread it and set standards of behavior in a theatrical, entertaining way is basically what we're talking about. The important thing about all of this is that all the stories that were contained and passed down during these ceremonies are all oral. There is nothing written. And so we come from a culture where all of our knowledge is contained in books, and they come from a culture where all their knowledge is contained in stories. And so they tell the stories, and that's how they pass down their knowledge. So when the Canadian government put in potlatch bans, that basically stopped learning. And when you think about what it takes to survive on the North Pacific, I mean, it takes a lot of savvy and a lot of knowledge, and all that was passed down. And these stories, these wonderful dances and potlatches were where all of this was shared. So I think it's super cool that you have Mungo Martin's art. He is a revered individual among all Indigenous peoples. He was a gentleman, he was a teacher,